Hello, group. Welcome to Action Rock Corner. I'm your host, Richard May. Today, we get some entertainment for you. Diamond Dogs from Sweden, action rock pillars there, along with Chris Spedding, veteran session guitar player producer, come in, sitting in, doing 11 of their favorite Little Richard songs. How could that not be entertaining? It is entertaining. So you know your Diamond Dogs. I should get more Diamond Dogs. Yes, I should. Chris Spedding, I have here with Robert Corden and the Jordanaires, Elvis Presley's old backing vocalist. As you see behind me, you see a couple Little Richard collections, and of course the documentary that came out a couple of years ago about Little Richard. Heck of a documentary about his life and dealing with homosexuality when that was not proud of at the time. He was not proud of it. And of course, it was more difficult during his career to be known as gay. But man, it's Little Richard. And this is not 11 cliches of the same songs you always hear in Little Richard live sets or greatest hits collections. No, these are deep cuts, and you're going to love each and every one of them. You are. Little Richard had material. And just right off the bat, King of Rock and Roll from 1971, one of his comebacks. You know, the record is entirely, Diamond Dogs with Chris Spedding doing the songs. Straight live to tape, and it's great. But if you see the video for the lead-off track, King of Rock and Roll, the video has Little Richard himself not singing, does not confuse people, but Little Richard speaking after the song's over, and then there's footage of Little Richard performing live, playing to the crowd as the band jams. His touring band jams. Apparently not Diamond Dogs. So you do hear a touch of the touring band, but not Little Richard singing. It's Little Richard being Little Richard outside of singing. If you're a youngster tuning into this, you never seen Little Richard perform or heard a Little Richard song. And how can you not hear a Little Richard song? I guess it's possible. It's where it all comes from. Yeah, Elvis, sure. Throw in Link Ray. Throw in Chuck Berry, which I got behind me here. Bo Diddley. But Little Richard and that energy. That's where punk comes from. That's where action rock comes from. That's where the energy of heavy metal comes from. The real energy of rock and roll comes from your Richard and the showmanship. You may notice I'm wearing a Hendrix t-shirt. Hendrix was a touring guitarist for Little Richard, before Jimi Hendrix became Jimi Hendrix and moved to London. Little Richard got PO'd at Hendrix because Little Richard's a star of a Little Richard show. He didn't like Hendrix playing with his teeth or behind his back or any of that showmanship stuff. Little Richard reminded Jimmy who the star was. Jimmy became a star soon after, of course. So, absolutely honking great stuff on this, and not the cliches. King of Rock and Roll, released in 1971. So he's referring to artists from 1971. Referring to Aretha Franklin, referring to Three Dog Night. Remember Three Dog Night? It was a thing back in 1971 when I was 10. Okay? It was. You'll date it now. And he's letting everyone know he's the king of rock and roll. Get out of his way. And you hear this song as done by Diamond Dogs. Holy crap. That's the king. The next song, Hey, 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 4 times. Hey, 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 hey. That has a hell of a lot of energy too. The third song I saved from my personal favorites for YouTube Music Shuffle. Bama Lama Bama Lou. Let me say it one more time, see if I can do it the same way twice. Bama Lama Bama Lou. That's a corker too. That closes this set. Absolutely fantastic. The other 8 songs in between, all great. They're all great. Doesn't quite match that energy and drive, but they're great. There's 2 slower songs there, but they're cool. They're cool. They don't go into bad ballad territory. They're cool. All right? Shake a hand and send me some loving. They're cool, but it slows down and then it picks back up again. It's a darn good 33 minutes, 11 songs. No prog here. No extended guitar solos. No. Bam. 3 minutes and you're out. And like I said, it's deeper songs for Little Richard. Do Drop In, True Fine Mama, Poor Dog. Slipping and Sliding, I found on a couple of my collections, but that's not one of the cliches you find laying around. Absolutely. And Chris Spedding's 80 years old and playing on this energy. This is not laid back music here. This is Little Richard. And reportedly, it was like Chris Spedding's idea. He knew what he was getting into with Diamond Dogs, and he said, hey, you want to do something with me? And Diamond Dogs went, hell yeah. Want to do 11 Little Richard songs? And Chris said, hell yeah. Those are my favorite words for be affirmative. They may have a more blunt choice of words than I do, or less. Absolutely wonderful stuff. On YouTube, I had to rate to give you this review because it was not on YouTube originally when word came out of this record. I had a chance to buy it, but hopefully the price has come down. Hopefully you can find a nice price for this. Or maybe you're not as much of a stickler on price as I am. Okay? It is an import apparently. They're asking final prices on CD for a CD. They are trying to edge up CD prices here and there. You'll see. But if you got more money in your wallet than I do, support the band. Okay? Go ahead. Buy it. You love it. I love it. I was very happy to see it on YouTube. And damn, it is what I was hoping it was going to be. And deep cuts. Very deep cuts. Damn good energy. 80 years old. 80 years old? I got another few years before we see if I have that kind of energy at 80. I'm hoping. I'm working at it. So, that's what I got. Go find Diamond Dogs and Chris Spedding, Macon Georgia Giant. Indeed. You gotta remember your real Richard for the foundation of rock and roll, of the real thing. You don't have Real Richard in your collection, go get some. There isn't as much Real Richard out there as there is for other, artists of that stature. Because he kind of gave it up, been a preacher, whatever. Then he comes back, and like I said, King of Rock and Roll was making a comeback in '71. He walked away for a while. Became a preacher, so on. He struggled with the lifestyle and the morals of what he was doing. The documentary explains it very well. I am everything. I mean, you see this, boy howdy, he's everything. Great documentary. You like this video? Give it a like. Subscribe to the channel. Ring the notification bell. Leave a comment. Go listen to some of this wonderful material. All 11 are killer. Each and every one in my book. Come back. Tell us in the comments what you think. And for latest in action rock, which Diamond Dogs are, Sweden. Sweden is doing Little Richard. Holy moly. And they do it well. Absolutely amazing stuff. Action rock, garage rock, classic and legacy bands. Come back here to Action Rock Corner and we'll have it for you. And remember, fresh music is as important as fresh food. And have fun with your music. None of this crying your beer stuff. And, and doing, trying to charge people for your therapy. I don't like it. I don't like that. You want to cry to someone that daddy didn't love you enough. I respect it, but not my preference. So, that's what I got for you. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you again soon. Bye.